everyone. So we're going to start on time today. Imagine that. If you've been on my webinars before, you know we like to chit-chat in the beginning and go over at the end, especially on Thursday coffee chats. But the Monday webinars, we try to stay on time because we respect your time, and we're glad that you're here with us today. And we're glad that Caitlin, our Instagram expert, is joining us today as well. Welcome, Caitlin.
Thank you so much, Julie, for having me on. Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here.
We're so happy to have you here. I think we're in episode 4 of our Hindsight is 2020 marketing series. So if you've joined us before, we started with back-end expenses, and then we went into staffing, hiring and retraining and inspiring. And now we're taking a deep dive into marketing. And so last week we talked to Wanda Love about Facebook. And today we're talking to Caitlin about Instagram, which is a huge hot topic. Instagram right now is one of the hottest, if not the hottest, social media platform that we need to be on. And I've seen Caitlin do a few webinars in the past, and we reached out because we loved her energy. We loved her tips and education, and asked her if she'd join us here in the SpaHive and share some of her Instagram tips and tools and wisdom with our audience. So Caitlin, tell us a little bit about you and tell us a little bit about why we need to care about Instagram.
Yeah, awesome. Well, yes. Okay, great. So Instagram obviously is one of the most important social media platforms, as you mentioned. And even a little bit later, I'm going to explain how many people are actually on this platform that we can connect with. And the best part about Instagram is that we can get a response right away. So most other platforms, many people aren't as willing to answer a DM or even communicate or network with people like they do on Instagram. And it's because the platform has made it so easy for users to get on, engage with one another, interact with one another. So it really just plays very well to business and being able to communicate directly to clients. So there's about 1 billion people on Instagram. And since quarantine, since, all of the things happening in the world, Instagram usage has only gone up. So it just, again, reiterates how much we really need to be on this platform. And I realized I really needed to be on this platform after I started working for a local nonprofit. I'm from the greater Philly area. And I ended up growing their Instagram following from 18,000 followers to 500,000 followers in under a month. And it happened to be all within their ideal client fundraiser. So their ideal client was actually following them, engaging with their things, participating in this giveaway that we launched. And it ended up having a great reward, obviously, for the nonprofit, but also a long-term following that they're able to now lean on, even if some people probably would have fallen off after all of that growth. There's a lot of people that hang around that are really interested. So I think that it's great on this platform that people can come and go as they please. So we know everybody that's watching our things are really invested, and sometimes, which we'll learn today, pivoting some of our marketing just a little bit can make it more, attractive to our client and make more people hang around.
Right. Well, then let's dive in because I know we have a lot to talk about.
Yes. Okay, great. Let me share my screen. Should I say, it says advanced settings. Who can share? Now it's asking me that. It's a little weird.
That is a little weird.
Maybe I'll just say am I a panelist or am I a host?
I made you a co-host.
Okay, and then I'll just hit only host.
You were on as a panelist, so maybe I didn't need to do anything.
Let's try one more time. It's not letting me share. Okay, here we go.
Or try that.
We got it. Okay, yay. I get all nervous.
See, I can still manage a little technology without Marianne.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Play from start. Here we go.
And then as Caitlin's sharing her screen, if you have any questions as we're going, as always, just drop them in the chat and we'll feel free to ask them as we go. I'll monitor the chat so that I can make sure that Caitlin's answering all of your questions.
Yes, yes. And I was just telling Julie, I love questions. So any type of brainstorming or roadblocks that come up, or maybe just even something small, I am happy to talk about it, brainstorm with you virtually, and get some new ideas going. Because the thing about marketing is if we're thinking outside of the box, most of the time people realize it really quickly because it's something that they haven't seen before. So anything brainstorming wise is always great. So here are our topics for today. We're gonna cover 4 main topics. And the first one is gonna be changing your mindset around Instagram, because as we know, pre-COVID, Instagram really did have a negative connotation for a while, and could have some negative impacts on our mental health as well. So how do we keep track of that as business owners and also stay on top of being productive? Because the other key thing to this app, since we are all also consumers, even though we're business owners as well, it's very easy to fall into the scroll hole that I like to call it. So we'll go through some of that mindset and how to transition. We'll also go over consistency on Instagram, which is really key to making your business flourish on this platform. We're going to talk about your ideal client, which is, again, just something that's really important to keep in mind as we're speaking on this platform. And then we're also going to craft an impactful Instagram post. And this is going to be simply the writing and the caption of your post. I know that sometimes it's very difficult to come up with posts. So this blueprint is a great way whenever you're having writer's block to kind of lean back on. So let's dive into that mindset. So as I mentioned, Instagram can become something of an animal to be reckoned with very quickly. We can click on things and all of a sudden we've ended up spending an hour looking at Uncle Joe's post from last 4th of July. Like, it's always, right? It's always
no, that doesn't happen.
We're always productive. That doesn't happen. But the one way that we can really change this is to either separate out our personal accounts and our business accounts so that we're able to, have leisure time on Instagram without feeling like we have to do business. And then also on the flip side, being able to get lost in that scroll hole after work hours and really not care about how long we're spending on the app. That's a great way to just separate both of them. And the most impactful part about having a special business account is being able to switch your business Instagram to an actual business Instagram account. And you can do this by going to the profile, hitting the top 3 buttons upper in the right-hand corner, and then you hit settings, and then you hit account, and then at the bottom, it'll say in blue, switch to business account. Now, the reason why you want to switch over to this is because you'll gain access to tons of insights that actually a lot of businesses pay a lot of money for. So it's really interesting that different marketing firms will offer this for, high-end, really expensive businesses. It costs them a lot of money to run these analysis, analyze information, what is working, what isn't working with their client, and what's getting people to click. And you can see all of that through Instagram. So in the upcoming slides, I'm actually going to dissect one of my posts with you all that actually did decently well, so we can know what does a good post look like and what does a halfway post look like, what does a bad post look like, because when we first start out, we have nothing really to compare it to. which was something that I struggled with early on a lot. I didn't know what was good, what was bad. And I think that that's one of the largest reasons why people just end up giving up most of the time as business owners.
And it's funny, we were talking the other day about Instagram vanity, and that a lot of times, we are looking at the wrong analytics, because we look at saying, I want more followers, bigger numbers. And I know, Caitlin, when we talked about this, and this was something that, the person who does my social media scolds me for when I say, I want more followers, I want more. And she's like, but if they're not going to buy from you, what do you care? And and on another webinar, they called it Instagram vanity. And I was like, yes, that's it. Don't be vain. We need to be like smart business people.
Yes, it's so true. Like another, which you might find this funny too, but we always say, Instagram is an ego-driven app. It's literally meant to boost your ego, make you feel good. And when it doesn't, that's when that mindset and that unhealthy, thought process can really happen. And unfortunately, people my age, some people that may have started their business early on and it was only on Instagram, they actually attach a lot of their confidence to this application. And it's just so unhealthy, because even if we're getting 100,000 followers, or as I mentioned, the 500,000 followers, does it really matter unless we reached our fundraising goal, which, we did luckily, but does it matter? No, it wouldn't matter at all, right? Because then they're just dead followers.
Right.
Yes. So another thing about the business Instagram account, which is perfect, Julie, this kind of leads into that. When you have a very strategic community that falls into your ideal client and does things that your ideal client does, lives in the same area, makes the same amount of income based off of our services, then we can take this information from the business Instagram insights and start to implement it across all of our marketing. I mean, that's our client, So most of the time, if they're on Instagram at this time, they're probably on LinkedIn at this time. Or maybe if they're on Instagram at this time, maybe they go on LinkedIn after. Like, there's so much market research that you can gain from this app, and especially from these business Instagram insights. So I love that you all are making that mindset shift already, because once we realize that the one follower that could buy all of our services, 10 facials, fill our books, maybe they end up buying, tons of different things, gift certificates, all of the things, versus the 10,000 followers that live across the world that could never even make it into our brick and mortar. What is the point? And that's exactly what we preach here at Meraki Media Management. Most of my clients, my management clients, and my own personal profile, we grow anywhere from 20 to 30 ideal client followers a week. So right in that sweet spot, and right the amount of followers that I can actually see coming in. I'm having conversations with them as they come in, and nobody's going untouched. So all of those warming leads, right? Those warm leads are now continuing to be touched by my posts, by my DMs, by my stories. So you're hitting them from a ton of different outlets, which we're also going to get into when we develop that first, really strategic post. So the next reason why you really, really need to be on Instagram, and one of the things that will help continue to warm these leads as you're getting these insights and all this information, all this data off of your client that you didn't have before, is staying consistent with that client. So it's not just as being consistent on posting on the app. You also want to stay on top of these people and make sure that you're getting back to people. You're posting your IGTVs, you're replying to comments, you're answering your DMs. And even though that may start to seem a little bit overwhelming, what's really rewarding, which is what we teach at Meraki Media, is only spending, 20 to 35 40 minutes at most on this app a day. So we like to front load our Instagram planning, get that all done for the month, and then we like to just spend our time engaging on a daily basis. So it seems much more doable in bite-sized chunks. It's not as, overwhelming. And I wanted to put up this photo for you all so you can kind of see, all of these photos I took myself. I'm by no means a photographer. I take all of my videos myself. All I do to make them look consistent is put a filter over top of them. And everything's done by me. Like half of them aren't even really Canva images. I try to keep things really fun and different. And that's because, a photo of my dog, I know on a Saturday is gonna stop everybody from scrolling, which was my goal. So all of our posts, all of our posts are always goal driven. We always have like a motivation behind it, which again, we will get to as we break down more. But the one thing that I do want to talk about a little bit here is that IGTV and making sure that you all are present on IGTV itself at least once a week. And the reason being is because this is a place that you can send people all the time. So even when, COVID was happening and we were stuck at home and not able to share any of our services with our clients, IGTV could have been a great hub to send your new potential clients that you're talking to during COVID, or even past clients about new additional services that you've been adding. This is a great resource to share, even if you're at a networking event or you're speaking somewhere. You can share your Instagram so that people can go and see what type of work you do, who you work on mostly, what types of services, all of the things that would be their questions to ask you face to face. You actually eliminate all of that time because you can answer all of that here. So this has been a great way for my business, especially, which I know will be for all of you, for exactly that. It actually shortens my sales calls times, which is really nice, So before you're trying to maybe bring on an additional client and you have to explain, the treatment, the products, however you might be training them on or teaching them about your system, this eliminates all of those questions that they have that comes up and a lot of that explanation time.
So Caitlin, do you do your IGTV videos live, or do you record them and then put them on, recorded after? And, should it be a certain length?
Great question. So yes, I record all of my videos. I'm not a live girl, to be honest. I sometimes get a little bit thrown off, or I might not be talking about the right topic, honestly. So I have to sometimes go back and double check myself. But the posting of and the pre-recording is really nice for me, just because as busy business owners, like, being able to front load even my month with recording 4 videos and having the content finished for the rest of the month just always feels great, because then we don't have to worry about it. So that's what I do. And I always restructure my clip through Canva. So I've seen a lot of people, unfortunately, putting out photos and videos that aren't cropped to the right, diameters for Instagram. So everything gets cut off. So make sure that you're going to Canva. It's free. They have a white, little form that you can just stick that photo on, and it'll be the perfect square for your Instagram. And yes, as a time for lengths, this is a really good question. I'm long-winded, obviously. I enjoy talking. So most of my videos are way too long. They're around like 5 or 6 minutes. They say it's like really long, but they say, and most of the time the peak watch time is 1 to 2 minutes. So I'm working on shortening them, but as spa owners and as in the beauty industry, hopefully we can keep that time down. I would say like 1 or 2 minutes is a sweet spot, because half of us don't even have, the brain power to look at videos much long anyways nowadays, because we're just consuming so much content all the time. It's like content overload.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, 1 to 2 minutes is normally, the best sweet spot. So our next topic today is your ideal client. And your ideal client can be really, really hard to define, especially in the beauty industry, because we're like, well, we really can work with anybody. And fortunately, that's a great issue to have, right? That we can work on everyone. But specifically for marketing, when you're able to talk to that one person, and a great way to explain this, I learned this from one of my business coaches. Her name's Tiffany. She has a great podcast for business owners. Her podcast is Project Me with Tiffany. She's really funny. And she says that your ideal client is a past version of yourself, which really just clicked for me. It's so true, because when you can start pivoting your marketing based towards somebody, how you used to feel, or, you know, before you had great skin, or before you were able to understand, you know, eating something may throw your skin off, however you might, you know, give advice on your platform, giving that free value. If you're able to talk to that client, give them a personality, talk about the things they like, a lot of the times it's things that you like as well, then you're able to start really making deeper connections through Instagram, which is super fun, because again, that sales call or the next time they come in, you already know a little bit about them. And it's just a great entry into conversation because you already have something in common. So your icebreaker, you know, doesn't have to be that big because you have similarities. So when you think about your ideal client's emotions and how they're feeling right now, and once you're able to start even talking about that through your IGTV, you'll see people really connect with your content. And it could be, you know, 10 people, but it's still 10 people that are really connecting with your content, that feel like you're speaking directly to them. You know, you're talking about how you used to feel and how you're going to change that for these people that feel exactly like that. It really changes your mindset, especially as you start to listen to more business-driven podcasts like Project Me, or ways that they market to other people. So for example, with Tiffany, she's normally saying something like, share this to your story, or share this with your team if it resonates with you. And when you think about saying something like that as a beauty professional, it doesn't always sound right, but things that you could say is, share this with one of your dear friends that might be struggling with the same thing, or have one of your friends reach out to me if you know that they're suffering with XYZ. And when you get really clear on what the problems are that you solve, and you're clear with your client about that, that is when they feel like, oh, okay, this is how I can send her business. This is how I can communicate with her. Oh, she's open to me asking her questions because she's coming from that customer service standpoint. So I can ask her, you know, if I'm having an issue with my skin or having an issue with my day even. I feel comfortable. And obviously, all we want to be able to build is that trust with our clients. So any way we can make that happen quicker is the best way to do that. So I hope that you know, makes sense with your client. And again, when you think about your client and building out hashtags based around that client, their location is key for hashtags right now. I actually was just reading something about that. So look at location and look at things that your client is probably doing on the weekends in those locations, and include those hashtags into your weekly posting regimen. Because if you're not, then you'll only warm them once or twice with one post. And the idea is to really continue to warm them through the hashtags so that they eventually click and follow.
Yeah, and I've heard that recently too, about location, you know, almost being more important than hashtags right now.
Yeah, location is really key, because so many people follow their hometown. You know, like, makes sense. And another thing is, which a lot of us have to think about, is once you're a local industry leader in your town, then you can become a national industry leader. So you just need to kind of have those like stepping stones to getting there. And obviously in your own hometown, it's a lot easier to become that industry leader because you know everybody most of the time, or somewhat know some people that can also spread word of mouth for you. So it's, you know, marketing on all standpoints, but Instagram is just a great place to kind of send people, or even have your friends send people, clients send people as referrals to check out what you do. You know, it makes them feel more connected with you before they step inside.
Right. And I feel like as you're finding your ideal client, it's important to remember, you know, that social media means being social. You know, so it's not just, you know, posting, you know, discounts and posting, you know, look at this or look at that, and promotional things, but it's really about the engagement and, you know, creating that relationship with your followers so that then they want to, you know, engage with you and will follow and will share with their friends and family members. So that once you've identified who your ideal client is, and it might be several client types, right? I call it buyer personas. So you have, you know, several different client types. What are you sharing with each client type? And then what are they then sharing with all of their friends and family?
Yes. See, that's perfect. Like, that is exactly how we want to think as we're crafting, you know, all of our content. Like, seriously, on a weekly basis, like, I imagine my ideal client, you know? Like, the best part is about doing marketing like this, which is what I've seen in my business as well, like, getting more clear on that message has helped me attract the right clients. Like, I don't have the clients that are the pain in the butt, right? Like, I have I love working with that really enjoy the service or product. Even for my clients, they enjoy it because they need it and it's solving a problem that they have, you know?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's a good first step, is identifying your ideal client and staying, you know, sticking with it, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, if you're having trouble with that, think about how you used to feel, you know, before you went to school or before you educated yourself on what you teach others. How'd you feel? You know, probably not that great, probably a less enlightened. And that's all we're doing. We're just spreading the love. We're spreading the light. We're spreading, you know, this free education, this free value with our clients. So it makes them feel good too, because most of us are in the business of spreading goodness and spreading love, right? Making people feel good. So any way that we can do that, it's always a benefit for, you know, everybody. So now we're going to get into how to craft an impactful Instagram post. And this is really key for your whole marketing plan. So throw out posting, you know, trying to craft your posts once a day. That is no longer what we do, because we're business owners. We have to be strategic and we have to plan. So if you're not able to have enough time to plan out a month of marketing, start planning out a week by week. So every Sunday night or every Monday morning, you get up. Your one job is to plan 5 days of Instagram posting. You know, 5 or 7 is normally in our sweet spot. So 5 is great, especially as we're seeing this transition with quarantine and COVID. Julie and I were just talking about this. It is more, how do I phrase this? It is more acceptable, or I guess a little bit more normal nowadays, to have people not posting 7 days a week. That's kind of a new trend that we're seeing. So I normally say, you know, 5 days a week is normally my sweet spot, especially if you're a business. You want people to be able to depend on you. So don't look at yourself, you know, as an influencer. Maybe look at yourself more as a business and that free value standpoint. So when you're picking your weekly topic, because that's going to be your weekly topic or goal that you're pushing forward, this could be many things. This could be getting emails for your email list. This could be getting direct messages or voice calls to set up, you know, consultations with clients. This could be selling product virtually through your shop, right? Any skincare product. But you have to get very strategic. What is your goal for this week? Is your goal to get clients through the door? Is your goal to get emails? Sometimes my goal in my posting is simply to get people to reach out to me. Because if they're reaching out to me, then I know that they need my help, and I don't have to spend the time reaching out to them first. They're coming to me. So you want to get clear on the goal. And then once you have your goal for the week, you know, your topic, it's going to be something, maybe if it's your newsletter, it's going to be what your newsletter topic is that week or month. You see what I'm saying? It all kind of like comes together eventually. And then you assign each day of the week a new overarching topic. So for example, Monday would be a promotion day. Tuesday is your straight up about me day. So you can connect it back to your promotion, like slightly, like, oh, I use this product, but you're not promoting the sale because this is your about me day. And if we promote nonstop, we'll actually end up turning people off, because we can't always be salesy. We have to be authentic. Since quarantine, especially, we are seeing this trend. More consumers want to see what our lives are like. So sometimes if our content isn't perfect, or like high def photos of, like, you know, photographers, it's okay actually now, because everybody is a little bit more understanding, a little bit more lax to that. But of course, we still want our feed to look aesthetic. So Wednesday, you know, could be your IGTV day. And the reason why I want you to assign one day of the week your IGTV is because it will be consistent. So even if you can't record it on Monday, then you should pick a day of the week that you know your mornings are normally a little bit slow, or you have time Wednesday night to record it so you can post it Thursday. All of these, you know, planning ahead of time, maybe leaving a little bit gap free in your morning routine. And then, you know, Thursday would be another promotion, and Friday you may include some type of testimonial from a client, or a quote of some sort, or some way you want to start branding yourself. So branding yourself can be anywhere from, you know, I want to have a humorous brand because I'm a little bit funny, or I'm a little quirky and I like to attract those type of people. So once you're really clear on your client, all of this content creation becomes really easy, because you know exactly what your client needs from you, because you've put yourself in their shoes. So you assign your IGTV week, and all of the days of the week have a different type of topic. Promotion, about me, you know, authentic posts, and all of this needs to come back to your free value. So you're telling that story on Tuesday, but you're also including the free value that leads into Wednesday with your IGTV to give an even more in-depth explanation about how this, you know, story that you're sharing in your weekly newsletter is going to come back and influence your client based off of these emotions that client had when they went through this process. There's so many ways you can play off of this content, but you really want it to feel rounded out. So a lot of other things that I see with my clients is that they're either not promoting enough, or they're promoting way too much. So you have to find that balance, which by assigning these days of the week, it'll keep you on task so that you're not constantly feeling like you have to promote. It's more so about that connection. And then, you know, with your weekly posting and your weekly topic, if you do have a great sale or promotion, you're still promoting that twice a week and on your stories. So the client's going to see it. They're going to come across it. You know, there's no doubt in your mind that because you're following your business Instagram insights, your weekly posting schedule, they will see the promotion as long as you're posting it twice a week.
So how do you feel about things like, you know, Wellness Wednesday, or I just thought of another one while you were talking, and of course it went out of my head. You know, Motivation Monday. Yeah. You know, doing like tying your weekly or daily topics to things like that. Or do you think it's too hard to rank for hashtags like that?
So that's a great question. You know, if you have a strategy that's working, keep with it. You know, if it's working, if it's getting you clients, don't stray. But the one thing that I will say about Wellness Wednesday, Motivation Monday, is that it's seen everywhere. It's all over the platform. We just mentioned, 1 billion people on the platform. That's a lot of Wellness Wednesdays. So maybe, like I said, anytime we can think outside of the box or be a little different and share that maybe tip or share a little bit more about that client experience that the client is going to connect with, that's when you'll see the really great amount of growth, because it's not based around having to find the blog that's going to share a wellness recipe. It's actually based around how the client's feeling. And that may lead into a recipe of some sort because your client may be struggling. But you have to talk about that emotion first. So when you're marketing on emotion, that's when I think you have the best results. And that's why most of the time I try to stay away from the Wellness Wednesday, because what if your topic for the week just doesn't fit into that structure? Like, you'll always have something to promote, or you'll always have a story, last week about your experience as a business owner.
Yeah, I love the thought of marketing on emotion.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally agree. I mean, I always look to say, how does what we're posting make you feel?
Right.
And that's what it's all about. And I also loved the quote about your ideal client is a past version of yourself. I think that's very wise.
Literally. And like I said, Tiffany shared that on her podcast, and it really hit home for me. Like, that was when I was like, I feel like I have this down now. Like, this is a well-oiled machine that's constantly flowing leads to me. And that's because I'm putting time in. Like, we can't just, throw up that post that's about.
Yeah, totally. So Regina asked a question, can we use blog posts from our sales company? Regina, I'm not 100% sure what you're asking. I'm going to take a stab at it and say, if you're using a particular product brand,
right,
and they're, blogging about whatever, acne or, sun damage or whatever.
Yeah.
And they have some really good content. Is that something that's good to share on one of the days?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, that's something that would definitely be impactful, because it leads back to something in your business. It's an issue when people are, pulling a blog that has nothing to do with what they're selling.
Yeah.
But if it's leading back to the business and it has to include with the products that you're using, definitely. And a great teaser for that is pulling some of the article, like a piece of the article that's really stand out for you, that was like, wow, how did I not know this? Or like, my client's gonna freak when they read this. This is so cool. That is what you want to have as the caption. And then you can say, click the link tree in my bio to continue reading the rest of the article. But that will be really helpful for your client too, because then they don't have to go through and read the entire blog. They just may read the impactful part, and that's going to make them like, because you're taking time out of your day to make real content. You're not just saying, click the link in my bio.
Right. And that's where you can use Canva. Like, Canva can come into play. So you could take, a one-liner or a quote out of the blog, throw it into Canva, make it a really professional looking image for free and easy, then use that as your post, right? And then kind of put your quote and then link in bio, and boom, there you go. You have content that didn't take you a lot of time to create. Speaking of time, so, we're suggesting that we want everyone to, plan. I like to plan a month ahead. If we can't plan a month ahead, if we're planning a week ahead, how much time do people need to dedicate to plan their marketing? So let's just say Instagram, and then pieces of what you share on Instagram can go on other social media platforms as well, just not verbatim. How much time do you think that our audience needs to dedicate a week to getting these things compiled for, say, the following week?
Yeah, so most of the time, the content planning will take around an hour per week. But once you get this down and you have a structure, like, okay, instead of Tuesday or Friday being your quote day or whatever it might be, you know that you're going to get your blog from your skincare line on Friday. So that's a really easy content creation. I would say about an hour. And applications that I've used in the past are Planoly, and that Planoly is free. And it will also let you auto schedule posts. So you don't have to think about actually going in and manually posting it. And I like that because it's free. So anybody can use it right off the bat. And that's just, again, to keep you on topic. And you can actually post to Facebook from Planoly and even add a first comment so that your hashtags aren't included in your Facebook post. They're only included on Instagram, which I just think is a great key feature to, again, saving you all time as well for your Facebook accounts.
Awesome. Sorry, I had to mute.
No problem. Are we good with questions so far?
I think we are right now. If anybody has any questions, definitely drop them in the chat so Caitlin can answer your specific questions while she's on our call today.
Yeah, so again, you know, once you craft this post and you have your weekly schedule out, when you are pulling together your content, you always want to have a standout, you know, question that's, again, playing off of your client's emotions. So do you feel like you have really bad mask knee today? Like, yes, everybody's struggling with that, right? Do you feel like your skin is just so oily from the sunscreen that you bought at Rite Aid that you're ready to, like, keel over? Like, all these things, right? Like, really specific to their specific issues. So it's not just a broad, like, are you struggling with your skin? Like, yes, everybody is semi, right? You can't all be perfect. So
being very specific.
Yeah, getting really.
Yeah, that's great. I was just talking about that today. I have like a little breakout here, and I think it's from that darn mask because, you know, I get my breakouts here, which is hormonal.
Yeah.
But, you know, here I'm like, I think it must be from my dirty makeup mask. I don't know why I put makeup on and then wear a mask, but I had to wash all my masks.
That's exactly what I have to do tonight.
Right, and that's a real problem. Like, that's a real problem that you can post on social media that people can relate to. And will then someone like me would say, oh, yeah, I was just thinking about that.
Yes, exactly. And the other thing that I really do want to touch on, which I know can be difficult for people in our industry, like, it can be really hard to offer a service that you can do at home, or like free value that your client can do at home. But anyway, you can offer any type of like DIY lymphatic drainage, or DIY, you know, laying upside down on the bed for 15 minutes, which is like something that my grandma used to do like back whenever, and like said that that caused a facelift. But like something that you can, she used to do it like every night, but something that you could do or offer to your client that they can do at home for free, like on your About Me post day or on your Friday post that's not a promotional day. That is really going to go far with your client, because anything that they can do at home so that next time they come to see you, they feel even more confident, they're going to trust you more because you're giving them actual free value that they can use now. So think about even doing some research based around that, and, you know, at-home massage, facial massages or something, whatever you may be helping people with. Even confidence building, like mentally, would be a great tip to give your client, because most of the time we're all struggling with confidence, but if we're able to help people, then we're benefiting the gram. So when you start out with that, cliffhanging question, like really like get their attention, then you're going to share that story. Storytelling's huge on Instagram, or you're going to share that free value tip or your authentic post about you. At the bottom, you always want to have a call to action that's going to semi-move your goal or your topic of the week forward. So send me a DM, share this to your story, share this with your team, reach out to me in my email. Like you could even send them to Facebook if you wanted to. You could send them so many places, link in your bio. But you always want to have a call to action, because what it comes down to is most of our consumers and most of our clients just don't know how to follow through with what you're asking them to do. So when it's very obvious, we eliminate all of the questions, and that's just a very easy way for them to know next steps.
Awesome.
Okay, so really quickly, I wanted to break down what one of these, captions can look like. And I chose one of my posts that actually did decently well, and I'll explain why through my post insights. So you'll get access to these post insights once you have your business Instagram insights. I'm sure some of you look at them, but I'm gonna tell you what I look for and what I think really can packed a punch. So how can you start your business Instagram online? Click the link in my bio. I have 2 calls to action in this post, and that's because I really want people to go out of their way to engage with me. So this is like a total engagement post. There's several things that they can do to engage with me, and it's very obvious how to do so. And then I include, my free content and ways that they can get that free value, hashtags, all of the things. And then I say, have any questions, send me a DM. I will send you a reply ASAP. So again, just really strategic, that exact structure that I told you. You want to know how you can start an online business, like calling them out, I'm calling out that entrepreneurial spirit, because that's what my client always has. So when we see the post insights, we can see how much this actually worked, which is kind of crazy to see. It's so exciting. So we got 71 likes, awesome. And then I also got 8 website clicks. Now, the reason why I dropped all the way down there is because that's honestly the only stat that I really care about. I don't care about the likes. I probably care about the comments, because that could be a client that, would want to interact with me. I care about the profile visits, like great, that's good for my ego, but not good for my pockets. The website clicks are what's good for my pockets, so that's what I like to focus on. So when you know exactly what to look at with your business Instagram insights, which I do teach in my training program, that's when you'll keep yourself on top of things. Make sure that you're connecting with the right people and really just helping as much as you possibly can, pushing that goal forward and, making the sales. So again, as I just mentioned, I have my 4-week half-off business Instagram training program, and this is a great way for you to just expand more of your marketing as a business owner. So everything that you learn throughout any of my trainings is evergreen content. So any content any practice or social media platform that you can send a direct message on, you can use this training for. And the reason being is because your client is the same on all of these platforms. Yes, you may have to take a hashtag out or recraft this message because it's for this persona instead of this persona that you're selling to. But for the most part, if you're targeting that person or that promotion on some day, you probably are targeting them on Facebook too, or on LinkedIn too, in some capacity. So what we teach throughout my training program is direct messaging. We have hashtag breakdowns. We teach you all about that location and how to get those location hashtags going. We also talk about increasing credibility, launching giveaways, which is my giveaway guide that I grew the large following from 18,000 to 500,000 followers, mindset techniques, as I mentioned, which we dabbled in here today, all of the things that you need to know to really start generating sales and leads from Instagram. Because if your Instagram isn't getting you leads, then there really isn't any point to spending time on it. So we want to make sure that we're getting something out of this every week, if not every day. The way I like to think about this, because when we eventually dive into this together, for anyone looking to sign up for this program, what you'll see is that sometimes we spend a lot of time messaging our client and they never get back to us, or we feel like we've wasted time on the platform because we've been communicating with someone that never ended up coming in for a service. And the reality of that is it's never wasted time. I've seen people that I've communicated with that have ended up referring me to others, and they happen to be some of the best referrals because most of the time they're a better fit for the service or the product. So once you kind of get over the fact that it might not be, right out of the gate, it's a long game process, but once we start implementing all of these things, you will start generating leads on a weekly basis. I see it happen for my clients. I see it happen for myself, and it's definitely possible. So this training is actually held through a closed Facebook group. You get access to the group. You get access to all of these videos. It's held over a 4-week process. So every Monday and Wednesday, the training videos come out and you get 2 opportunities for personalized training. So let's say you're really struggling with hashtags, or let's say your business insights are just really throwing you off and you have a really strategic question based around that. You can submit it in the Facebook group and I create you 2 personalized training video based around those questions and based around your business. So it's just for you in the group, and it's just a great way to kind of get more of that one-on-one time. Ooh.
So there's a question, Caitlin, here from Regina. It says, are you doing the trainings yourself? And are there specific times for the trainings that you need to attend, since it's a small group of up to 10?
Yeah, so
how does that kind of work?
Yeah, so this training is all pre-recorded. So all the videos are already done. They just come out every Monday and Tuesday. And the idea is basically just so that you have some time to get done those homeworks and worksheets in between. So you can take the training on your own time. You can go back and look at the Facebook group anytime you want, brush up on things. And then, so every video comes out Monday, Wednesday. And that's how we normally just communicate through the group. But I do have, let's say you want to be, face-to-face with me. I was mentioning this to Julie too. We do have a couple openings for one-on-one coaching this month. So we would sit down for 90 minutes together and you would basically just have access to me for 90 minutes. We send a quiz over and all the questions are answered on the 90-minute call. So that's always an option as well. And when I give Julie my contact information for this training and for the one-on-ones, please feel free to just reach out to me personally. We can set up a free 15-minute consultation call to make sure that it fits into your business and what you need, because the last thing I would want is for you signing up for something that you just maybe don't need right now. So we like to do that call prior, and then we can get enrolled if it falls in alignment for you. So please, even if anybody just wants to quickly chat for the 15 minutes, I am always open to chatting with people, especially during quarantine. Anytime I can be on the phone, I'm enjoying it. So please just reach out to me.
Yeah, and what we'll do is we're going to share the recording, as well as I will get you Caitlin's contact details so that you can connect with her via email or phone and ask her any questions that you have specifically for your business. She's happy to answer any questions and point you in the right directions to make this easier for you and your business. We want social media and marketing. So now we've gone over our first week, we did LinkedIn, Twitter, and Pinterest, which was super interesting, how we could use those for our business. Last week we had Wanda Love on talking to us about Facebook. Today we have Caitlin talking about Instagram. And next week, next Monday, we're going to be talking about old school marketing, is still not dead, right? Let's not forget about all those other ways that we can market outside of social media. But all of our panelists are eager, to help you be successful. So we'll make sure you get all of their information. So Caitlin, if we have 3 minutes and I don't see any questions here, if you have one killer tip for people to get off and get onto their Instagram, their business Instagram, it already exists. They're already using it. What's your one takeaway tip for them to hop on tomorrow morning and do?
Okay, I love this. So it has to be hashtags. It has to be hashtags 100%. Your hashtags are the best way for you to reach new eyeballs unless you want to direct message. So hashtags are something that you can build out and use at 3 months at a time. So what we do is we build out hashtags for each cluster, day of the week, 30 of them. Every day has a different cluster attached to it. And we reuse it over 3 months until we start to see that percentage drop off on our business Instagram. We know it's time to revamp. But anytime that you can see, 70 plus interactions on your hashtags, it's key. And the other tip that I'll give for hashtags, be sure that you are connecting the amount of posts per hashtag to the amount of followers that you have. So if you have under 1,000 followers, I would never post to a hashtag over 100K posts. That is way too big.
So in layman's terms, don't use the most popular hashtags.
No.
You're going to get lost.
Yes, you'll get lost. It's a waste of time. And anytime we cannot waste time is the best part about business, right? Like we will get down to it. So exactly, when you're building out your hashtags, let's say you're really struggling and you're not finding ones that are small enough. So like most of the time with my clients that will come to me with under 500 followers, we look for everything under 10K posts, which is difficult to find because not everybody's posting to them. So you want to look at hashtags that are sometimes 3, 4, 5 words long. And I know that sounds long, but if you're able to change up the words or rephrase it, think about the synonyms of the words, then you're able to really build out your clusters that are small enough to the point that people will see your things. And the locations are always small. So make sure you get into the location hashtags early because eventually they'll start to go up because everybody will catch on. But when you're doing it now, you'll still get a lot of exposure from the location and they're always small. So that's a great tip too.
Yeah, that's a great tip because you're not going to rank for the million hashtag words.
Yeah.
So you just get lost. But if you have those hashtags with smaller followers, then you're going to hit that, what's that feed called?
Yeah, like the highest.
Yeah, whatever they call that feed. And so more people will see it. So that's a huge tip. So when you go do your Instagram posts tomorrow morning, think about your hashtags. Thanks for joining us today. Thank you, Caitlin, for our really high energy, deep dive, super fast 1 hour of Instagram. I know we could spend a lot more time together, and I will connect everyone to Caitlin. Hopefully you can connect with her and get some more tips, and good luck on Instagram. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Julie. And the one other thing I'll add really quick, anybody that's looking for free tips, feel free to check me out at Meraki_media_management. I'll also give my Instagram to Julie, but we have tons of IG tips that I just was showing you guys. So feel free to go follow me there. I always follow everybody back. I won't not follow you back.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and have a good rest of your Monday.